Formula 1 is back this weekend after the summer break with the return of the Italian Grand Prix and huge news over the course of the summer. The most important point being the highly anticipated Andretti entry has finally made it to a Formula 1 grid, and with that comes a new driver lineup. Of course, Daniel Ricciardo was confirmed in the last weekend's Belgian Grand Prix before the summer, and he is going to be joined by Enzo Fittipaldi. Yes, Logan Sargent not achieving the results that Andretti felt would be suitable for his new organisation, so Fittipaldi has been called up, I believe making him the 5th Fittipaldi in the world of Formula 1. Speaking to Andretti, they've said obviously it has been a long process to get the car ready, but they are happy to have finally got a seat on the Formula 1 grid. For Lancia though, Nico Hülkenberg has done a direct swap with Daniel Ricciardo. Of course, we couldn't sign him on for the Belgian Grand Prix thanks to his one-race ban, so Fernando Alonso stepped in, but he has decided he does not want to return full-time to the sport. So Nico Hülkenberg will be coming from Haas, and Daniel Ricciardo has gone the other way. Of course, a big weekend for so many teams. Ferrari, Williams, Lamborghini, and Lancia, of course, all want a win here this weekend. But what will happen? Make sure you get yourself subscribed, and let's do this thing. Quickly though, before we get into this video, I want to thank all of the names you see on your screen. Without their continued support of the channel, none of the work we do here would be possible. And if you want to get your name featured on this list, you can click the join button or click the Patreon link down in my description below and support the channel from just £1 a month. You will also get access to weekly updates about everything going on behind the scenes, and also occasionally some early previews on videos. So yeah, a massive thank you to my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters, and let's get back to the video. Hello everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 11 of the F1 23 Lancia career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Italian Grand Prix. Lancia is back home once more here in this series, and of course we've had some big news as well. Andretti have finally sorted out their takeover of the Haas team, as you would have seen in the intro, and that has meant, yeah, that their driver lineup now is consisting of Daniel Ricciardo and Enzo Fittipaldi. Yes, Logan Sargent, a lot of people thought he might keep the seat thanks to his American roots, but no, they have decided to go with an iconic name, admittedly, from the Brazilian world of motorsport there. Enzo Fittipaldi becomes, what, the 4th, maybe even the 5th Fittipaldi to race in Formula 1, and I'm so excited to see how he gets on this weekend. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, the name changer I use doesn't work, so I can't change Haas's name to Andretti at the moment, but I am working on that behind the scenes as well at the moment. Of course, if you're new around here, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed. We're trying to hit 130,000 subscribers at the moment, and yeah, let's do this thing though. Lancia back at home. We want to try and get a big result here and hopefully closing some points on McLaren. Well, a lot of drivers with a lot to prove then this weekend. Nico Hülkenberg is definitely one of them, of course, coming back from that race ban a couple of rounds ago. He'll be looking, obviously, to try and impress during the team's home Grand Prix weekend there. But I must admit, from all my years of Mercedes power, it is nice to have a Ferrari car that is a little bit quicker down the straights. But Ferrari, I tell you what, Hamilton, quickest at the end of free practice, was a really impressive showing by the Brit. I mean, if ever there was a race you wanted to win for Ferrari, it has got to be this one. But so far, Lancia has been the stronger Italian team so far. Let's not forget Williams as well, of course, with their Lamborghini DNA now inside that car. They're going to want to look for a strong weekend as well. There's a lot of Italian heritage currently in Formula 1, but I quite like it. What I don't like, on the other hand, is the gaps that I'm down by the end of Sector 2 here. We made that mistake through the first sector, and of course, yeah, Monza can still be quite easy to overtake, but if you get caught in the DRS train, can really make the difference come the end of an afternoon here. Is that at the final corner? First lap, yep, that's useless. 22nd and last currently. Well, a bit of a traffic paradise then as everyone tries to start their final qualifying lap, but we are going to be the last car out onto a run. Luckily, we have got plenty of time. But yeah, Hulkenberg up inside the top 10 at the moment. So that's really, really promising to see there. Something that I don't believe Daniel Ricciardo achieved in his stint with the team. But yeah, we need over a second, I feel, from my first lap. So we need to try and keep it tidy on this second one, as already a little bit of a slip up through the first couple of corners. This can be a track where the AI are really, really strong. So Verstappen then, desperate, he wants to try and get a good result under his belt this weekend. Takes pole position provisionally at the moment. I've got no idea where the McLaren cars are, but you know, our championship might hit a bit of a brick wall here as we make our way through the final couple of corners. We are only going to be half a second up. I don't know if we've out-qualified anyone here. This has been an utter disaster at the Temple of Speed, and I think that is P22. Well, there we go. Max Verstappen takes pole position and ahead of Lando Norris. All three Brits there are right behind the Dutchman, but Lewis Hamilton, I'm sure, will want a big result here. Hulkenberg out-qualifies me in his very first race weekend with the team, but we've got no excuse. 1.7 seconds off pole there. We just could not get the laps hooked up when all is said and done, so we've got a lot of work to do. Both Porsche cars inside the top 10 as well, so eyes will be on them throughout the rest of the weekend, but Bottas and Sainz as well as Leclerc all down the order. This race, I feel, is going to get very unpredictable very quickly, but if ever there's going to be a track that can deliver a banger, surely it is here. Quickly though, before we get into that, I want to thank today's video sponsor, Fanatec. Yes, I have used Fanatec gear now for many, many years, and they still are a dominant force in the sim racing space. If you're racing on Xbox or PC, nothing really comes close, and their PC offerings are still absolutely brilliant. If you're interested in ever shopping for any Fanatec products, it would be greatly appreciated if you would use my link down in the description below. At no additional cost to yourself, you massively help support the channel, and yeah, I just want to say thank you for Fanatec for their continued support.
Welcome to the home of the Parabolica, now known as the Curva Alboreto, in tribute to the Italian motorsport legend Michele Alboreto. It's a long, long right-hander. It dares you to keep your foot as far down on the throttle as you possibly can. It's one of the great corners on the calendar, and we're here at Monza, ahead of the Italian Grand Prix. With the rain coming down here at the 3.6-mile Monza circuit, the low drag setups preferred by most teams could cause them some problems in today's Grand Prix. So watch out for cars struggling for grip around the Curva Michele Alboreto. That's the Parabolica to you and me, the last and most demanding of this track's 11 corners. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Russell, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Tsunoda, Ocon, Teo Pourchaire, Perez, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Sainz, Liam Lawson, Ricciardo, Leclerc, Albon, Fittipaldi, Joe, Magnussen, Iwasa, and Firestarter. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
Well, the rain is falling down then here, but the shorts are on, which means it is technically a dry start to the Italian Grand Prix, and I don't believe that means even if I wanted to, we couldn't even start this one on a set of the intermediate tyres here, but 27 laps ahead of us. We're going to have to go softs early on and try and get them through this wet period as best as possible. Hopefully, the grip premium will give us a big, big advantage here, as it looks like everyone is opting for the mediums. It's 5 red lights. And it is lights out, and away we go then for the Italian Grand Prix. And look at that immediately. Getting past 1, 2, 3, and 4 cars, maybe even more. Charles Leclerc has gone nowhere. We'll get past both Andretti'S on the run down in towards turn 1. But we've got to try and capitalise on the grip advantage we've got down the inside of absolutely everybody at the first corner. We've gained 9 places off the start of this one. And, well, that is pretty much the dream start we could ever hope for inside F123 there. Looks like Lando Norris even has taken the lead with Hamilton in hot pursuit as well there, as Perez and Carlos Sainz trying to go defensive from me, but we'll get around Perez. We'll almost go into the back of Carlos in towards the next corner, but 10 places gained off the start of this GP is absolutely mental here. As I'll be honest, looking at it, I reckon we're probably not a million miles away from the intermediates. As, yeah, the team adamant though, I think. Yeah, the team definitely adamant that it is dry weather, but I mean, looking at it, I'm not so convinced. Got a little bit of high engine usage as well. Probably should have swapped out the engine before we moved into the Grand Prix, especially as we were starting from the back anyway. But yeah, no one is in by the end of lap 1, so... Well, I guess of course this means as well we can't even just like do 3 stints of soft compound tyre here, but yeah, I feel like being on the softs is going to be quite advantageous, so we'll bolt on that ready to go. There's AI side by side into the first couple of corners. Let's see how Lando Norris took the lead. Well, riding on board then with Lando Norris for the start of this Grand Prix, I think he's going to try and just absolutely put his foot to the floor. And Max Verstappen alongside him then is just not going to go anywhere. Lando Norris says thank you very much. George Russell gets caught out behind the Dutchman, so Lewis Hamilton will get a pretty good look down in towards that first corner as well. As look at this, Lewis Hamilton actually trying to have a look to the outside of Lando Norris through the first corner. Will Lando be able to hang on around the outside? Yes, he just about can there. And the British too battling at the front of the field. Verstappen hangs on to P3 ahead of George behind. But Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton already with a little bit of a margin over the rest of the field. I can just see AI side by side in front of me down in towards the sky. We got yellows out. As I think that is Lando Norris who's gone round. So Norris, oh, that's not a good rejoin either, sir. What on earth has happened to him? All eyes on Lando Norris at the start of this race. As, yep, the McLaren man will get back on. He's taken no one else with him. Well, Lewis Hamilton then has now moved into the lead of the Grand Prix here as Lando Norris under increasing pressure from Max Verstappen as they make their way down in towards the Ascari chicane there. Just Lando Norris tips it in a bit too deep. Everyone's struggling to work out what the grip levels are like at the start of this race. Not a fan of the rejoin, I'll be honest, as he almost takes Nico Hülkenberg out. He'll get in the way of everyone else towards the rear of the field there as one of the Lamborghinis is going to try and have a look round his outside. But Lando Norris, a terrible mistake to make very early on this afternoon. And of course that now means Lewis Hamilton clear out at the front of the field then. We're just going to miss out on new fastest lap. Yeah, I'll be honest, DRS in these conditions, I feel like there's a nasty crash inbound. Oh, there's just cars everywhere at the moment, and with the DRS being enabled, I'm just expecting someone to open up the DRS, make a quick switch to try and get out of some slipstream, and immediately you come back to haunt them there. Hamilton and Verstappen, how many times have we said that in Formula 1, out in front? But behind them, I think Valtteri Bottas is the front of this group there. As you can see, there's cars going left and right everywhere in front of me. We've just got a fantastic view of all this going on down in towards turn 1. And immediately, apparently, oh no! Perez has just tipped me right the way around. Hülkenberg's gone past us. And well, I looked at the rears, and Perez just decided he was going to turn me all the way around. Well, I'm not sure what I could have done there, to be completely honest, but yeah, we've just been turned. Oh, Lando Norris has a look to my inside through the final corner. You seem to have the acceleration off the turns. But yeah, here goes Lando then, and Charles Leclerc back down in towards turn 1. So a soft tyre gamble here, clearly not making as much of a difference as I'd hoped. Got to be so careful not to lock up the rears again. As, oh, Charlie, what are you doing? He almost just dropped it in front of both Lando and myself there. We'll get the power down around the outside of the Ferrari driver as his teammate leading this race, don't forget. Charles Leclerc is having an absolute stinker.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
And that great pass immediately once again will elude me. Come on. Really, really struggling with the rear braking. I'll have to move the brake bias a little bit more forward again. But all that progress I made on lap 1 immediately is getting undone. Come on, now we're going to be under pressure from Fittipaldi. His first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix couldn't have been made much more difficult. The Andretti driver looks to my outside. Is he going to make it happen? No, I don't allow it. Ah, come on, Fittipaldi. I mean, fair play to him. He's putting on a show in his first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix. But it is a show at my expense at the moment. Because, well, we are just dropping back down the order. Down to P18 now. We should be able to get the run off him, as I must admit. Yeah, that Andretti car does look really, really cool. They have done a fantastic job with delivery on that thing. But down the inside again we'll go. And again we get another huge lock-up at the rears. I can't move the brake bias any more forward, otherwise we're going to start locking the fronts. But I've just got to be way more careful with it. There's no chance we could try and two-stop this race. We would just lose too much time. And not really have any window to gain it back again. It's just the AI scrapping it out everywhere. 226 miles an hour into turn 1. Is careful not to run into the back of Perez there as Charles Leclerc, Ferrari versus Lamborghini here at the Italian Grand Prix. Boy, oh boy, would I love to see this in real life Formula 1 there as well. Yeah, Ferrari versus Lambo with a Porsche and a Lancia watching on. This, I love modding inside the F1 game. It's so much fun as we'll go around the outside of Sergio. It's really cost us both a lot of time, but I'm happy that we're actually moving forward again. If we score a point today, it'll be a miracle. Oh, safety car. Okay. Not sure why we've had a safety car. But we're definitely going on to the mediums if we are boxing. Gonna do. I mean, we're down in 17th place anyway. It makes no difference, honestly, at the moment, whether we drop to the rear of the field. I'm going to bolt on a set of intermediates under this safety car and kind of see how they feel, and then we'll kind of work out from there, I guess. But into the pits will come. Say, everyone else still is on the dries by the looks of things. But we might see a couple of others gamble for it if they've been given a free stop. Charles Leclerc, those are hard compound tyres. Yeah, everyone else is going hards. As we're going to help hold up Lamborghini just a little bit as we get a nice tidy run.
Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
We'll be the only one on the intermediates. But I tell you what, they don't feel half bad. The only problem, of course, we've got is maybe at the end of the race. See, when the track does dry up fully, we're going to have to make another stop when no one else will. Well, Lewis Hamilton then leading the way as we've got a safety car to take us to half distance. But now, yeah, we have taken quite the gamble here. We're the only driver on the intermediates. I'm hoping the rain not only stays around, but maybe even gets a little bit worse over the next few laps. But Hamilton then leading away in red. What a sight that is to see here at the Temple of Speed. But we got to try and time our run, which we have done pretty well there against Ayumu Owasa. We'll try and get a run on him down in towards turn 1. How is braking performance going to be? Whoa, AI early on the brakes, but we can brake so much harder, so much more aggressively on these intermediate tyres. What's the traction like on the exit as well? Pretty good, as we'll see where we can go against Magnussen 3 wide, with Magnussen and Leclerc out through Curva Grande. Oh, Charles Leclerc just boxed me in at the top of the hill, but I tell you what, yeah, these tyres are good. How long they will be better for, I do not know, but yeah, we are certainly feeling a lot more confident on these intermediates. As soon as I say that, we'll go for a trip through the gravel. I'll be really, really careful that we don't snag them still, but yeah, I reckon the performance is there. There's Lando Norris trying to have a look down the inside. Oh, I always get worried when the engine warning light flashes up like that. The ICE has taken an absolute pounding so far this afternoon, as it would around this venue, but we should have enough. So we've got more yellows out.
Okay, be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Someone breaking down, but who is it? I think it is... Who on earth is that? Is that an Alpine? Esteban Ocon at the Grand Prix. That is a shame for him, because Alpine are having a really good race here, as Magnussen will go defensive on me. We'll get round the outside of the Dane. What on earth is this back down in towards turn 1 as we go 3 wide? Oh, a little bit of damage. As, yep, Magnussen and Lando Norris wanted to try and keep it there.
moment, just be careful.
Oh, this race is just chaos. Whoa, Charles Leclerc there. Tried to move one way on Théo Pourchaire, sorry, and almost dropped it going down the back straight. That has got to be a scary moment as Hamilton sets a 125.4. We are still a long, long way away from that kind of lap time here. But, well, yeah, not far away from my PB. That is bizarre, though. DRS on the intermediate compounded tyres is going to be very, very weird here. So Lando Norris try to have a look. Not going to allow it to happen, though. It's just, what on earth is this? Cars are everywhere, and Hulkenberg, now up into the points there, P9, would instantly be better on debut than Ricciardo or Alonso was able to do for the team. Don't say Charles Leclerc's going to try and box me in again. No, he's not. I'm going to get there to the inside. Whoa! And immediately had to brake because I didn't want to go into the back of my teammate there. Leclerc will tip me back round. We do get a warning for it, understandably. But we are now back into the points of this Grand Prix. What on earth is this race? Goodbye, Charles. We're immediately no longer in the top 10. If Leclerc will go defensive on me, we've definitely got slightly better braking performance. Also try and go the long way around in once more. Very much slam the door on the exit. I want to score a point here. It might end up being damage limitation to Bottas, but I reckon we can still be quicker than that gaggle in front. Lando Norris again having a look to my outside. We've got to try and save some battery though. For the run out of the final corner, it's actually contact there with Lando Norris, who wanted to go the long way around. And immediately you'll just find that off the line, the intermediate's absolutely the tyre to be on. I don't think I've ever had to fight this hard for a single point on the F1 game here, but oh, Norris, you can't move like that, sir, especially when I've already committed back down the inside. Luckily, no harm, no foul that time round, as the AI again 3 wide in front. And this is just allowing myself to get closer and closer. Well, the rain is meant to be stopping very, very soon here, but the other thing I'm worried about is actually the tyre wear. We are absolutely destroying this set of the intermediate there, as well. Piastri and Hulkenberg again go side by side through the Ascari chicane. We've got to try and work our way past these cars as best as possible, as Hulkenberg to the inside once again of the Australian. Bottas and George Russell have kind of checked out in front there as well. I can see both of them struggling to put the power down. Where are we going to be able to potentially get involved here? As we will get the best run of the 3 out of the final corner. Piastri now side by side with both of the Lancia cars there, but 2 for the price of 1. We will make it through and up into P8. Oh, make sure we get it stopped again. Wonderful. And up into 8th place. Well, I don't think any AI are going to need to pit before the end of this one, but our tyres, if we keep going the way we're at, they're going to be at 98% when I cross the finish line here. Luckily, the intermediates are a lot less likely to puncture than, say, a set of the dry tyres will. But we are really having to modulate the throttle out of the chicanes now. And now, with just 2 laps to go, Théo Pourchaire, after looking like a good race could have been on the cards, is suddenly out of the Italian GP. This race is taking yet another dramatic twist. It's too late for a safety car, though. What has happened to the Porsche? And Théo Pourchaire then absolutely screwed over by the strategy today, having to double stack all the cars. Big points look possible for the Porsche driver, but as he makes his way down in towards the Ascari chicane, where we saw Lando Norris make that error early on. Oh no, Théo Pourchaire! I thought it might have just been a mechanical failure, but it's not, and a huge crash for the Porsche car here. Théo Pourchaire is out of the Grand Prix. Of my own championship hopes, we need Gasly to try and outscore Bottas here today. Time is ticking on this championship, and well, consistency, brutal consistency has allowed us to remain in this fight. But late on in the year, I'm just starting to wonder whether this team has got enough steam here. 1 lap to go with the Italian Grand Prix. Whoa, Oscar Piastri tries to take a swipe at me for whatever reason. Clearly was struggling to put the power down. And our tyres now at 92%. This here comes Lando Norris as well.
2.2 seconds.
Oh, Lando, don't try and make it 3 wide, almost into the back of his old teammate there. It is all still to play for as I get the elbows out with Oscar Piastri. We do get a warning for it. It was probably a little bit too aggressive, but we've got to try and defend every single possible point here. Late on in the day, 94% now on those rear tyres.
0.8 seconds.
That's not taking any risk into that chicane on this final lap. But Lewis Hamilton at the front of the field. It has been a torrid first season with Ferrari for the Brit, but just like Charles Leclerc before him, at his first ever Grand Prix here for Ferrari, Hamilton rounds the Parabolica. He will win the Italian Grand Prix. It is not over for us though, as Lando Norris steamrolls around my outside.
4 laps of fuel remaining.
Luckily, Piastri can't do anything to get round me either, but just as we run in towards the final couple of corners here, Lando Norris was another one we wanted to try and outscore this weekend. The tyres up to 98% here. It is completely falling away as Hülkenberg to the inside of Oscar Piastri behind me. Who is going to win out in the battle between my teammate and the Mercedes driver there? I'm going to give Hülkenberg the run if I give it to anyone, as here comes Hülkenberg, Lancia side by side. I think he took me. I think he did.
So another excellent win from Ferrari. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Well, for me it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the boring choice at this point, but you can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation.
It's time to check out the Constructors' standings. No change in the top spot then, but with today's points, their hold on that lead is getting weaker. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend for them as they fight their way towards the top. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, I'll be honest, there's so many different titles we could give this video. Andretti's debut, Hamilton's heroics here at Monza, or the drag race to the line between myself and Nico Hülkenberg there, but what a race that has been. One of the most ridiculous I think I've ever had inside F1 23. But Hamilton took the lead early on, never looked back after that. Fastest lap as well, gives him the full 26 points, just clear of Max Verstappen there. Yuki Tsunoda on the podium alongside him, beats out Sainz and Gasly there. Bottas and Lando Norris, my two main rivals, also outscoring me today, is a bitter, bitter pill to swallow as the tyres just fell off towards the end of the afternoon there. But Teo Pourchaire beats out, well, sorry, him and Esteban Ocon, sorry, the only drivers not to finish. And yeah, Ricciardo, his torrid season continues, getting beaten by rookie Enzo Fittipaldi. But that means having a look at the championship standings now, a 32-point deficit to Valtteri Bottas there, as Verstappen again, just the brutal consistency is leaving him in the title fight. You could probably make the claim now, 6 drivers still with a shot at the title, with just a handful of races to go here, as we're now just 1 point ahead of Carlos Sainz there. Looking at the constructors, McLaren 30 points clear of Red Bull, as we are just 10 ahead of the Alpine team as well. They're hoping we can hold on ahead of them and Aston Martin there. But Hülkenberg as well, with that point, means he instantly jumps past Daniel Ricciardo there. And that's really, really good to see as well. that maybe now I've got a teammate that can score points between now and the end of the season. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready for the Singapore Grand Prix.